we're just going to go ahead and jump into things. We have a lot to cover today, so I'll just have to make it to you guys up on the next video with our TikTok videos. But today we're just going to go ahead and get started. So it says a rectangular prism has a length of 5 1/2, a width of 7 1/2, and a height of 6 centimeters. What is the volume of the prism in cubic centimeters? So remember, for a rectangular prism, its volume equals base times width times height. So essentially, we're just multiplying these three numbers together. So what I would do is change all of these to decimals. That's just a personal preference. You don't have to. But 5 1/2 is written as 5.5. And then 7 1/2 is 7.5, and then we have our 6. So I'm going to multiply 5.5 times 7.5 first. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 is 27. 0 down to hold our place. 7 times 5 is 35, carry the 3. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 3 is 38. We have 5. 7 and 5 makes 12, carry the 1. 8 and 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, carry the 1. And we have 4. So remember, we have 2 decimal places here, so we're going to start at the back and move our decimals over twice. So then we have 41 and 25 hundredths, and we still have to multiply that by the 6. So 6 times 5 gives us 30. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15, carry the 1. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 6 times 4 is 24. And we have 2 decimal places here, so we're going to start at the back and move it over once and twice. So our answer is 247 and 50 hundredths. And we are talking about cubic centimeters. Remember, when it is volume, it is going to be cubed, which is that little 3 above the cm, which stands for centimeters. Okay, so it says the smallest of 3 consecutive integers is n. Which of the following expressions represents the sum of the 3 integers? This is a huge clue. Sum. Sum means we are adding. So you can go ahead and take off D, because D is not adding. And then C, we are multiplying 2 times n and 3 times n, not adding. So when it says consecutive, that's also another big clue. Consecutive means like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going in order. Okay. So if we have the same number written 3 times, that's not going in order. Let's pretend that n stands for something. Let's say that n is 1. So for this first one, we have n, and then we have 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then for our last one, we have n plus 2, which is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So you see we have 1, 2, 3. They are consecutive, and we are adding them together, which is our sum. So our answer here is B. What is the least common multiple of 9 and 12? Remember that we are trying to find the multiples. Multiples means multiply. So what I would do is always start with your biggest number, and I would start with the multiples of 12. So 12 times 1 is 12, and then I need to ask myself, can 9 go into 12 evenly? No, it can't. So I'm going to do 12 times 2, which is 24. Can 9 go into 24 evenly? No. 12 times 3 is 36. Can 9 go into 36? Yes, it can. So that is going to be my least common multiple, because both of these numbers can go into 36 evenly, and it is the smallest number that they can both go into evenly. 108, 9 and 12 both go into 108. But 108 is bigger than 36. So 36 is the smallest number that both of them can go into evenly. That is where our least comes in to play. Okay, it says, what is the surface area in square inches of the net of the rectangular prism below? I'm going to do this on a different piece of paper, and show it to you a little bit differently. It's just a personal preference of mine, but I like my I like my net for my rectangular prism vertically instead of horizontally. So we have 2 1/2 inches, 1 1/2 inches, and 5. So I like to draw my net like this. Just a personal preference. And then we had 2 1/2, which is the same as 2.5, 1/2, which is the same as 1.5, and then we have 5. So when you are finding the area of each individual square, you are multiplying the base times the height. So for this top square, it'll be 5 times 1.5. So I'm going to do that off to the side. 1.5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. We have one decimal place, so we're going to move that over one time. So here is 7.5. Okay, and then to find this square, we are going to be multiplying 1.5 times 2.5. So 5 times 5 is 25, carry our 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. 0 to hold our place. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Add these together. And then we have 2 decimal places. So we're going to start at the back and move it over once, twice. So this is 3 75/100. And then this square in the middle is going to be the 5 and the 2.5. So we are going to multiply 2.5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. And we have one decimal place, so we're going to move it over one time. So this in the middle is 12 1/2. Now, to find all of your other squares, if this wing was 3.75, then this wing is also 3.75. And in the middle, you're just alternating every other one. So 7.5, 12.5, 7.5, and then 12.5. Once you have all of these numbers written in your squares, you're just simply adding them all together. So I'm going to do that in a different color so you can see it. Remember, when we are dealing with decimals, it is so important to line up your decimals. So important. So I'm going to start with 3.75. We have 2 of those. Okay, we have 7.5. 2 of those. And then we have 12.5. And we have 2 of those. I'm just going to annex zeros in this column because they don't have anything in the hundredths place, and we want to make sure that we keep everything lined up straight. So I'm going to bring my decimal point straight down. 5 plus 5 gives me 10, so I'm going to put a 0 down, carry my 1. 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 plus 7 is 27. 27 plus 7 is 34. 34 plus 1 is 35. 5 down, carry your 3. 7 and 3 makes 10. 7 and 3 makes 10. That's 20. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. However you want to count these up also is you could have done them in smaller groups and then added those 3 numbers together, whatever works best for you. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So this is 47 and 50 hundredths. And I believe we're talking centimeters, but let's see. Oh, inches. Okay, so 47 and 50 hundredths, or you could have done 47 and 5/10, same thing. And we are talking inches squared here because we are doing area. Which of the following is furthest from 0 on the number line? Remember, absolute value just means how far is that number from 0. So if we have 19, that's 19 spaces from 0. If we have negative 19, but it's absolute value, that's still 19 spaces from 0. So this is 19. That's the absolute value of negative 19. And this is 19. And this is the absolute value. This is negative 19. So that's 19 spaces. And then we have the absolute value of negative 19.5. That's just one little bit more. So this is actually 19.5 spaces from 0. So D is actually going to be the furthest from 0 on the number line. Okay? It says Parker sells tacos and nachos at a concession stand at the ballpark. The tacos sell for $3 each, and the nachos sell for $4 each. He sells T tacos and T plus 4 nachos. The expression 3T plus 4 times T plus 4 represents his total sales. Select all of the following equivalent expressions for Parker's total sales. So what I want to do here is combine like terms. So the first thing I'm going to do is use the distributive property to distribute the 4 to the t. So 4 times t is 4t, and 4 times 4 gives me 16. Okay, and that is equal to C. So C is correct, which means D is not correct because 3t plus 4t plus 4 is not the same thing as 3t plus 4t plus 16. 16 and 4 are not the same number. So again, we want to combine like terms. These both have t's, so we can put them together because they are like things. It's like if you had t's laid out. Let's say we have 3 t's here. 1, 2, 3. Ah. And then we have 3 t's here. 1, 2, 4 t's. And then you're just counting them. How many t's do we have all together? We have 7 t's total. So 7t plus 16. And that is B. So that is not A because A says plus 8, not plus 16. And it is not E because 12t and 7t are not the same thing, and 4 and 16 are not the same thing. So your answer choices are just B and C. What is the value of 2 to the 4th power? Well, we need to write 2 out 4 times. And this is not the same thing as 2 times 4. Please do not do that. Bad idea. Just write the 2 out 4 times and then do your multiplication. So 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 2 gives me 4. And then we have to multiply these. Multiply them. So then 4 times 4 gives me 16. So my answer, 2 to the 4th power, is equal to 16. Okay, the town of Pine Valley is plotted on a coordinate grid at -8, 4. The town of Landview is plotted at -8, -4 on the same coordinate grid. If each value on the grid represents 1 mile, what is the distance between the two? So we have -8 here and 4 here. And then at the other one, we have -8 and -4. Okay, so these are the same, right? So we're really just looking at, no. Okay. We're really just looking at a number line where we have 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just trying to find the distance between these two numbers. So you can draw your number line, you can count, you can do this in your head as long as you are getting the right answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 8 miles, 8 spaces in between, or 8 miles between the two houses. Okay, it says Cameron is saving money, the money she earns from babysitting, to buy a new video game system. She must save at least, this is key word, at least $299 to buy the system. Which inequality below represents the money M Cameron needs to save in order to buy the gaming system? Well, at least means she can have more than $299, or she can have equal to $299, but she cannot have anything less than $299, otherwise she would not be able to purchase the gaming system. So this is what we are looking for. M is greater than or equal to $299, which is D. Okay, it says black and gray marbles are in a jar, as shown below. What is the ratio of black marbles to gray marbles? When we're talking about ratio, we're just talking about how many of this do I have to how many of this do I have. Again, we're doing black first because it says black to gray. So I'm going to count all the black ones. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then of my gray ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Look, 10 of each. So it'll be 10 to 10. You can also write that as 10 to 10. And you can also write that as 10 over 10. You could reduce this ratio. So you could also write this as 1 to 1, 1 to 1, or 1 to 1. You can write it in these three different ways, and you can write it as 10 to 10 or 1 to 1, because 10 over 10 reduces down to 1 over 1. Remember, though, you don't want to divide 10 over 10 to get 1, because we don't want just one number. We are comparing two things. A ratio is comparing two things. So we want to keep those two numbers, the 10 and the 10, or the 1 and the 1. Okay, the dot plot below shows the number of siblings of students in Mr. Grayson's second period class. Select each true statement based on the data in the dot plot. So the mode of the data is 1. Remember, mode is the number that occurs the most, which is true. The 1 has the most dots, so that's true. The range of the data is 6. Well, to find the range, you have to take the biggest, which is 7, and subtract the smallest, which is 0. 7 minus 0 is 7, and it's not 6. The median of the data is 2. To find the median, you can do this one of two ways. You can cross off the dots, or you can write the numbers out and then cross them off. To find the median, that's just simply finding the middle number. So to find the middle number, I'm starting on each end, and I'm crossing off until I get to the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my median is 2. That's correct. So then the next one is incorrect because it says the median of the data is 1. The data represents 15 students. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can count all of the dots. That represents the students. So that is true. There are 15 dots. And then there are not 16 dots because F says the data represents 16 students, which is not true. Okay, Pace Corner Market sells bananas per pound, as shown in the graph below. What is the unit price per pound of bananas at the store? So if we were talking price per pound, that means the per pound needs to go on bottom. So then the price is going to go on top. So it looks like it's $1. Oops, I did that backwards. Let's try that again. $1 for 2 pounds. $1 for 2 pounds. This is cost in dollars. This is pounds. So $1 for 2 pounds. But we want to know how much for just 1 pound. So to get to 1 pound, we are just going to divide this by 2. So to get over here, we're just dividing by 2. And $1 divided by 2 gives me 50 cents. So it is 50 cents per pound. No! I think it's the way I hold this pen sometimes. 1 second. Okay. Paulside Veterinarian Clinic weighs their dog each visit. Dogs each visit. Sorry. On Tuesday morning, the dogs that visited the clinic weighed 28 pounds, 45 pounds, 32 pounds, 63 pounds, 21 pounds, 34 pounds, and 18 pounds. Select each true statement below about the weights of the dog. The mode is 45 pounds. So I'm going to first start by writing these numbers in order from least to greatest. You always want to put them in order from least to greatest. So the smallest is 18, then 21, then 28, then 32, then 34, 45, and 63. So the first one says the mode is 45 pounds. Mode means it occurs most often. These have all occurred only one time, so the mode is not 45. The range is 45. Let's see. Range is taking the biggest number and subtracting the smallest number from it. So 63 minus 18. We're going to have to borrow. 13 minus 8 gives me 5. 5 minus 1 gives me 4, so that is true. The mean is 38. What we need to do to find the mean is add all of these together and then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Divide by 7. So 18, 21, 28. Start by adding these three together. 16, 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then add 32, 34, 45, and 63. We'll add the rest. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. Plus 5 is 21. 6 and 6 makes 12. 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that is 241. We are not done. We still have to divide that by 7. Subtract and we get 3, bring down our 1. 7 goes into 31 4 times, sorry, 28, and then we have 3 left over. So I'm going to bring that up and 3/7. So our range, our mean is 34 and 3/7. So the mean is not 38. The median is 32. To find the median, we have to find the middle number. So I'm going to cross off on either end until I get to the number in the middle, which is 32. So that is correct. The mean is greater than the median. 34 and 3/7 is greater than 32, so that's true. The mean is less than the median. No, if it's more than the median, it cannot also be less than the median. Okay, what is the value of the following expression? To do this, we need to line up our decimals. When you are adding or subtracting decimals, you need to make sure that they are lined up. When you're multiplying, it does not matter, but when you're adding and subtracting, it matters. So I'm going to borrow here. 11 minus 5 gives me 6. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down your decimal point. We're going to have to borrow again. 13 minus 4 gives me 9. 3 minus 2 gives me 1, and 7 minus 1 is 6. So we have 619 and 26 hundredths. Okay, the line plot below represents the number of bags of dog food students in the Beta Club collected to donate to a local animal shelter. Select all the following true statements based on information from the data. 18 bags of dog food were collected. 18 bags of, yeah, that's right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 bags were actually collected. So that is not true. Okay? So number B. Letter B says one student collected 4 bags. So where it says 4, there was only one X, so that's true. This says 5 students collected 2 bags. So this is 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That says 6, not 5. The mode of the data is 1. No, the mode of the data is 2. 2 has the most number in that column. The median of the data is 2. To find that, you could either write out all of your numbers or you can cross off your X's. Okay, so 2 plus 2 is 2 divided by 2. No, 2 plus 2 is 4 divided by 2 is 2. Sorry. Our median of our data is 2. Okay. Michael recorded the number of people who attended his favorite college's football games for the last 5 weeks. The mean of the data is 89,061. The absolute deviation of the data is 2,482. Select all of the possible numbers of people who attended the game for week 6 that are within the absolute deviation. So what we need to do is, it sounds really complicated, but it's not. We are going to subtract 2,482. I did not line up my place values. Let's try that again. There we go. We are going to subtract it, and then we are also going to add it to it. And then we will find the numbers that fall within that range. So you are subtracting the mean absolute deviation from the mean, and you are adding the mean absolute deviation to the mean. So if we are subtracting, we're going to have to borrow here. 11 minus 2 is 9. We're going to have to borrow. This becomes an 8. This becomes a 9. This becomes 15. 15 minus 8 gives me 7. 9 minus 4 gives me 5. 8 minus 2 is 6. And 8 minus 0 is 8. So 86,579. And then we are adding over here. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 6 plus 8 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 9 plus 2 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. So anything within this range, 86,579 to 91,543, we can check off. 85,000 is below that, so that won't work. 87,000 falls within that range. 91,231 falls within that range. 92,000 is too big, but 90,000 falls within that range. So B, C, and E all work for this one. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I miss you guys. I hope you're staying safe and healthy, and I hope to see you guys soon.